Spain has long been one of the world's top tourist destinations, receiving dozens of millions of visitors every single year and making tourism a crucial pillar of Spanish economy. As you may have read on the Spanish news, tourism has also generated a series of challenges, particularly in relation to gentrification and rising of living costs for local residents. At this moment, I would say that public opinion is more divided than ever on regards to tourism. On the one hand, we have people like myself who believe that tourism is beneficial because it creates new businesses, job opportunities, and generates wealth. Whether we like it or not, tourism is actually a major economic driver for Spain, accounting for nearly 12% of its GDP and employing millions across various sectors. So yeah, we have to admit it, Spain lives off tourism. There are thousands of local families living off it, and that's why politicians should be rational when implementing policies that directly affect tourism. However, on the other hand, we also have many people against tourism. And this group of people has been growing in the past few years as they blame tourism for the increasing cost of living and the housing crisis. They somehow believe that without tourism, the cost of living would fall and the housing crisis would disappear. The cities of Barcelona and Mallorca have been the epicenter of the anti-tourism sentiment for years. Please don't be surprised if you walk around Barcelona or Mallorca and see graffiti messages like "Tourists go home" spray painted on walls. Some political organizations, especially in Barcelona, have been protesting about the negative effects of short-term rentals on the housing market as well. And actually, the town hall of Barcelona very recently has decided to take some strict measures to limit the number of tourist accommodations in the city. Mallorca, for instance, implemented a sustainable tourism tax which applies to foreign tourists staying in hotels or vacation rentals. Now, from my point of view, I think this is a highly discriminatory policy that goes against the fundamental principle of the European Union, which is the principle of non-discrimination. Now, to the question of whether Spaniards are sick of tourists, I would say that only a small percentage of the Spanish population are actually against tourism. But unfortunately, this number is growing, and the mainstream media is promoting the idea that tourism is the catalyst for all the problems that Spain is facing right now. But the truth is that cities like Barcelona, Valencia, Madrid, Malaga, and Sevilla thrive precisely on the influx of visitors who fill hotels, dine in restaurants, and explore cultural landmarks. The hospitality sector, along with transportation and retail, relies heavily on the consistent flow of international travelers. And besides all of that, at least for me, tourism isn't just a source of income, but also a source of pride. Spain's historical landmarks, cuisine, festivals, and natural beauty are part of what makes this country so unique, and there is obviously certain joy in sharing these treasures with people from all around the world. You can see the perfect example of what I mean in a guy called Larry Shai, which I strongly suggest you to follow on Instagram. He's an American from Michigan who loves Spain. Thousands of Spaniards like myself follow him, and he certainly makes us feel a lot of national pride seeing how he admires our country. Now, obviously, the rise of mass tourism in Spain has led to significant challenges as well, especially in urban centers. Gentrification is real and is driven largely by the tourism industry. It is true as well that short-term vacation rentals in tourist destinations like Barcelona, Ibiza, and Mallorca have led to an increase in rents and property prices in some specific neighborhoods. Many traditional neighborhoods filled with local shops and family-owned businesses are being transformed into tourist-centric zones filled with chain stores. That's also true. However, we have to understand that times have changed and now we are living in a globalized world. And one of the disadvantages of a globalized world is that we no longer have the possibility to live like we used to live 50 or 60 years ago. And that's not only in Barcelona or Madrid, but in all tourist destinations in the entire world. For instance, New York City in the 70s used to receive around 7 million tourists per year, and now is receiving over 60 million. You cannot simply demand to live on a low rent in Central Park, New York. Your competition right now is global, and the property owner obviously wants to get a fair rent for his property, and a fair rent is dictated by the free market. But what seems hypocritical to me is that many of the locals who complain about tourism, you take a look at their Instagram profiles and they don't stop traveling around the world. So they basically want to enjoy the advantages of being tourists while in their home country they don't want tourists. I totally understand that this is a very complex issue and there is no easy solution. Tourism has brought us both good and bad things, although I personally believe that tourism in Spain does much more good than harm. I would really like to know what your opinion on this complex topic is, so please write a comment in the video and let's debate.